Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel. Now, having admitted that you never used the CMS as a method of ballistic analysis in any of the tests that you were required to do, you only were using were using the pattern matching as a form which was taking precedent within the forensic science laboratory. Just a quick one on this. Exhibit MM1, page 3 of exhibit MM1. Now, what kind of a method is that one? Just a simple answer. What kind of a method is that one? Is it pattern matching or CMS matching?
Angela, ukusekhasini lesithathu ihloboni yokuhlaziya i-CMS noma i-pattern matching?
The process is the same.
As it is the court, my lord. This I'm going to request that this page be demonstrated on the screen so that the accused are able to follow as well. Yes. So, what kind of a method is this that is demonstrated in page 3 of exhibit MM1, which was prepared by you?
The process is the same, but the interpretation is done in terms of pattern matching.
Inqobe enzayo uma sibheka iyafana. Kodwa kumehluko ufika la uma seke sisichaza ukuthi yini ebonwayo lapha. Khona ke la kungena khona ke ukuthi kusetshenziswa i-pattern matching.
But I'm asking you, is that a pattern, what is demonstrated on the screen there, which is contained on page 3 of exhibit MM1, is that pattern matching or is it a pattern matching method or a CMS method?
Funa ukwazi ukuthi lokho kulapha isithombeni pattern matching method noma CMS.
These marks must be considered in the spirit of pattern matching. But as I've already demonstrated, the process of looking for the marks is the same. It's only where the counting is involved.
Lokho kulapha le migqa ke ingalandela i-pattern matching kodwa ke njengoba sengichazileke izimpawu lezo sibona lapha esithombeni ziyafana kodwa ke kuphuma ekutheni ke umusuzochaza ukuthi yini ebonakalayo lapha khona ke la kungena khona indlela ke yokuchaza.
No, but you seem to be evading my question. My question is simple. What method is here? I'm not saying to you explain what is contained in here. I'm saying to you, as it is demonstrated on page 3 of exhibit 1, which is also exhibited on the screen there, is that a pattern matching method or a CMS method? I'm not saying explain anything. I know the differences, but what we are saying there, what is it? Is it CMS or pattern matching?
It can be interpreted either way.
Okay,
but what I'm saying is that, what I want to clarify is that the process of looking for marks on the exhibit is one process, is the same. The only difference comes when you consider the marks that you are going to use for an identification. The process is exactly the same.
Ingabukwa yena noma yiluphi uhlobo i-pattern matching noma i-CMS kodwa ke indaba ingena-ke manje kuma sekuzochaza ukuthi yini ebonakalayo lapha yila kungena-ke khona-ke izindlela ezahlukile zokuchaza.
So this image can apply for both CMS and for pattern matching.
Manje lesi sithombe lesi singasebenza ku-CMS naku-pattern matching.
But for the interpretation of these marks, I'm following pattern matching interpretation.
Kodwa-ke ekuchazeni lokhu okubonakala lapha ngisebenzise i-pattern matching.
Now, that is in terms of exhibit, in terms of it's TB 8, not so?
That is correct.
Athi yebo lapha kubhekwe u-TB 8.
So you're basically saying what we're seeing there, all those marks up to 6 on both sides, on the exhibit and the test bullets, all those 6 marks there indicates to you that this is a pattern matching.
Manje-ke lokho okubonakala lapha konke lokho okubonayo kuchaza ukuthi sibona i-pattern matching.
No, there's no specific image for pattern matching or for CMS. This image can also be used by people who apply CMS. It can also be used by pattern matchers.
Ukuthi kuno-pattern matching noma u-CMS esithombeni. Lesi sithombe singasetshenziswa nanombani lo osebenzisa-ke indlela ye-pattern matching nalo osebenzisa-ke indlela yokuhlaziya ye-CMS nakhona iyakwazi ukusebenza.
But the interpretation of these marks which are visible on this specimen is based on pattern match. That is the interpretation.
Kodwa-ke incazelo-ke elethwayo kulesi sithombe kusetshenziswe i-pattern matching.
So what you're telling this court is that those marks which are numbered from 1 up to 6, your interpretation thereof is that they represent pattern matching.
Okuchazayo ukuthi zimpawu lezo eyokuqala eziyofika kwesithupha ezilapha esithombeni kusho ukuthi zibonisa i-pattern matching.
They can be interpreted in pattern matching and on CMS as well.
Zingachazwa-ke kusetshenziswa nanoma i-pattern matching nanoma i-CMS.
Thank you, sir. I don't want to argue with you on this point. You said you never used the CMS method in any of the analysis that we have done thus far. How would you then have been in a position to use those marks, those numbers, include them in this exercise, and interpret them to also to say that they may be pattern matching or CMS when you never used CMS?
Njengokuthi awukazi usebenzisa i-CMS ungazi kanjani ukuthi lesi sithombe lesi sinempawu ezingabhekwa nge-CMS noma i-pattern matching ukuthi wena awukazi uyisebenzise i-CMS?
I know the theory of CMS, how it works, but I don't use it. I don't use it. I use pattern matching for interpretation.
Ngiyayazi CMS nanoma-ke ngingayisebenzisi engikhetha ukusebenzisa i-pattern matching.
Thank you.
So these striations can be counted in terms of same striations which are visible here.
I'm not saying explain, sir. I've said thank you. It means I'm satisfied with your answer. Thank you. I'm going to put it to you, sir. Actually, before I come to that point. Now, there's one thing that I want to bring to your attention. So remember we spoke about, you said as per procedure, once an examiner examines and analyzes exhibits and come to a positive finding and they are confirmed by his colleague, that is the end of the story. There's no longer any need for a third or a fourth or a fifth reference. The reason why in this case there had to be a third umpire, a fourth umpire, and a fifth umpire. No, there were actually 4. The third, that is now Feljun, Ntini, and Fenter. The reason why there was a further reference to them It is because this was not a clear-cut case. It was a borderline case.
Please, my lord. We object against that proposition. We object to that proposition. It presupposes that these people were approached after Colonel Sereo has done the verification. We submit, my lord, that there's no evidence as to at which stage Colonel Mangena approached them. It can therefore not be accepted that it was after this witness verification.
So you're saying there's no foundation for that conclusion?
Indeed, my lord. It cannot be put as a fact.
Okay.
Is my assertion, because I'm going to argue on it, my lord. And I'm putting it as a fact, because this very same witness says, as far as the protocol within forensic science laboratory, once an examiner examined analysis and find a positive matching, he goes to a colleague of his who is the reviewing or somebody to confirm his finding. Once that person does that, confirms his finding, that is the end of the story. There is no longer any need to refer the same experiment to a fourth or fifth or sixth. That is his evidence. So I'm putting it to him that specifically in this case, why there was a third reviewer, a fourth reviewer in the name of Mr. Fesser, Feljun, and Mpili. It's because this was not a clear-cut case, it was a borderline case. There's nothing wrong with that.
My lord, there's everything wrong with that proposition. We have provided them with the statement of the witnesses. It states the date on which they were approached for an opinion, and we know the date on which the verification was done. My learned friend can therefore not put that proposition when he's sitting with an affidavit that states when they were approached for an opinion.
Yeah.
On the 22nd of July.
2nd of July, right?
22nd.
22nd of July.
Yes, 22nd of July 2020, and this witness...
2020, right?
2020. And this witness has said he did the verification on the 23rd.
This witness did the verification on the 23rd
Yes.
of July. Okay.
Yes, it is the court, my lord. My assertion is, it doesn't matter the sequence. Whether they were approached before this witness, whether they were approached after this witness, for the fact that there were 4 that were actually requested to go through this exhibit, when this witness has said it in no uncertain terms that 2 is enough where there's a positive match. My assertion, therefore, is this was not a clear-cut case, it was a borderline case, which is, that simply meant that Mr. Mangena was saying, you know what, I'm not sure here. Let me go to the third one. He still could not assure himself that his findings were certain. Then he went to a fourth one. He went to Fejun. He said, no, I'm not sure. He went to Fesser. He said, no, I can still not say this. And then he went to Ntini.
Fine.
Yes, that is my assertion. And the reason why he did that, because this was not a clear-cut case. It was a borderline case.
Now, fine. I hear the assertion. You're entitled to put it.
Yes.
But Mangena's evidence is that they agreed with me.
Yes.
Yes.
In terms of the results, yes.
And they agreed with me. And
yes.
then this other piece of evidence is I'm 100% certain.
My lord.
That's Mangena's evidence. No, you can argue whatever you want to argue.
Yes.
But in this court, that's what Mangena said.
I don't dispute that, my lord. Mangena said, yes, I find a positive match. I took it to Mr. Serero. He agreed with me. And Mr. Serero's, Lieutenant Colonel Serero says, where there's a positive match is the examiner who must pen an affidavit and the affirmer of his results, who is me. Beyond that, there should not be anything. Now, I am saying, for the fact that Mr. Mangena went on to consult other 3 people or to confirm his positive results, that is an indication that this was not a clear-cut case.
Okay, fine. No
it
problem.
was a difficult case. Yeah. Thank you, my lord. Finally, sir, let me put it to you. Then I've got no further questions to you. Thank you.